And we are back. It has been a long minute since we've been back on the Beatriz Disc Golf YouTube channel, but we are back and we have Monkey Island Open 2026. For this year, we had the pleasure of having Hudson join Daniel on coverage, so you guys will be able to see Daniel and Hudson battle it out at Emporia at Peter Pan. So we're going to go ahead and get started here on hole 18A. It's a par 3, 309 feet. Daniel and Hudson both played this course during Junior Worlds last year. I don't recall if many changes. Well, 18A wasn't part of the Junior Worlds layout, but a lot of the holes, like 1, 2, and several of the other holes were pretty similar to what they played in Junior Worlds. Maybe a little bit longer, but overall, I mean, it's a great course for the kids to play. I think it's always fun watching them battle it out. I know Daniel enjoys playing with Hudson quite a bit, one of his good friends. Unfortunately, as I'm doing this, Junior Worlds has already started. Today was the first day of competition where they had the doubles. I don't know if the putting competition, long drive competition was taking place today or maybe tomorrow, but we wish nothing but the best of luck to Hudson, Seven, any of other Daniel's friends that he's made over the past 2 years during Junior Worlds. So good luck to everybody that's participating in that. We'll be watching the scores, and we'll see where everybody ends up at the end of the tournament. So good luck again, everybody. So here on hole 18A, we're Daniel really was just trying to play through the middle. He was throwing, I think, his cicada. I think his ESP cicada. Unfortunately, he kicked off a tree. I think he went OB off the first throw. Unfortunately, his second throw hit a tree, or maybe he just turned it too much, went OB again. So he was in a bit of a pickle to start. He also has not been playing as much as previous years, just due to other sports. I mean, no excuses, but I mean, he still goes out and plays with me. He will putt from time to time at home, but he just isn't playing as much disc golf as before, as he's been wanting to do more team sports here this year. So he's been playing baseball again like he's been doing, but he's going to take on tackle football this year. That's something that he's been really wanting to do. Actually, for the last 2 or 3 years, my wife and I his mom have been pretty hesitant on letting him play tackle football, but we feel that he's at a spot where he could probably, go ahead and do that and at least be safe enough and, have fun with it. So we'll see how that goes this year. So after hole 1, Daniel unfortunately took a 4 there. Again, he went OB twice and missed putt. So not the best start, not ideal for him. I know that sometimes that's a tough thing for him to kind of fight out of. But overall, starting at +4 after hole 1, Hudson even through hole 1, moving on to hole 1. I should say hole 18A, moving on to hole 1. Par 3, 312 feet. I don't know exactly what Hudson threw there. I don't know if it was an understable driver or his Fox. I know he has a pretty sweet Fox that he throws quite a bit. Daniel going back to his pretty most used driver, which is his Z-Lite Nuke. Really flippy at this point now, because he's been throwing it for so long. He was able to hit his first ace here last year at the Garden City Community College on hole 16, so that was pretty cool to see. So that's his trusty driver that he's been throwing. He has retired that at this point in time. I think we made that decision here after we played the team event that Ethan ran in Hayes just a few weeks ago. Daniel got pretty close to losing that ace disc twice, maybe even 3 times on a few of the holes that run on the right side of the river, on the left, the right side of the river. So after that tournament was over, we decided, I think it's time to go ahead and hang that up on his wall. Maybe it'll come out of retirement in the future, but I just think we both decided I think it's best to kind of not lose that disc just because it was first ace disc. Luckily for him, he has a backup that he's been throwing here recently, so he's trying to beat that one in to get it to the point where it flies just like his beat up Z-Lite Nuke. So as he throws it more, I know he'll get that to the point where he trusts that just like he does with his ace disc. But here, I think Hudson took a par. Daniel also took a par, so that's a good recovery for Daniel after starting with +4. Great start for Hudson. Even through 2 holes is great. Especially with the first hole being kind of a gap shot down the middle and just not wanting to hit anything to go left OB or anything in the right side, and bring all the trees and the bushes to the right. And hole 1 is, I think, pretty easy for them. Just get it out straight, and if you have forehand like Daniel does, play it back to the basket. Moving on to hole 2, 372 feet, par 3. Hudson had a great pull there. I can't remember exactly how far he was on his approach, but maybe about 150, 200 feet. Daniel again going to his Z-Lite nuke. Pretty good throw again as well. Both out in the middle of the fairway, so both looking at pretty simple approaches, if I'm not mistaken. About 150 feet, 200 feet or so, maybe even less than 150 feet. Daniel here for his approach is going with his more overstable zone. So got a little bit high. Luckily for him, he did hit the tree, so didn't push too far to the right, and gave himself about a 10-15 footer. Hudson here, I think this, man, I can't remember. I know me and him were talking during this round. I was asking him a lot about his discs and what he was throwing now. I think that might be one of his Aviers, if I'm not mistaken. So just swung it out wide to the right and just a little skip in. So not a bad approach for both of them. So they're both looking at tap in pars here. So we'll see if they are able to tap those in and move on to hole 3. So we have Hudson there tapping in for his 3, so that's a good par on hole 2. And then Daniel, looked like he was left with about 5 feet or so. So not too much that he had to mess with there, so good job there. All right, so moving on to hole 3, 297-foot par 3. This one's pretty gettable. I mean, it's just if you have a backhand like Hudson does here, he can just swing it out right and play it back left. Daniel with his forehand is going to swing it out to the left, bring it back right. So it's dealer's choice really here on this one. So Hudson's going out to the right side, swing it back in here. So we'll see how he does. He yanked it a little bit too much, but he did get lucky that it fought. I can't remember if he was throwing a scorp. I think it may have been a scorp if I'm not mistaken. So he was to the right side of the tree, to the right of the middle one there. So not a bad spot. So give himself decent look at a birdie. Daniel's going out left, as I mentioned, with his forehand, flexing that nuke, and unfortunately for him, he nicked that pine tree to the left, so that kind of slowed it down. I think he would have got a lot closer, but not bad at all. His approach there, he felt comfortable with the jump putt. I thought it was better if he would have flicked it, but that's him trusting his game. Unfortunately, he just yanked it a little bit, hit the tree that's right behind Hudson there, and it kicked him back into the left. So Hudson here's looking at his birdie, so we'll see if he's able to knock this one down. Going through his routine here. And that was a great bid. That was a great putt for birdie. So hole 2 takes the birdie, takes Hudson to -1. Daniel here's looking to save his par now, so we'll see if he's able to give this a good bid and walk out of here without any more damage. So we'll see, going through his routine here. Gives it a great bid, just a little bit far to the right, so it didn't give it a chance for the chains to grab it. So fortunately there, he takes a bogey, takes him to +5 through hole 3. But overall, not bad. So biggest thing for Daniel is we've been working on the mental game, right? So I've mentioned that in previous videos, is the mental game is a big part of it. So you have to learn to let things go. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to be able to save things. So it's just, being mentally tough is the biggest thing in any sport that you're playing. So moving on to hole 4, a par 4, 387 feet. So Hudson's playing it over to the right. Don't, again, know what he threw, but it did take, you can't see it on screen, but he did take a pretty big skip to the left where he's in the trees, so he's going to have to scramble a little bit. There is a Mando on the far right. Daniel again going with the Z-Lite Nuke. Got a really good pull. Got the full flight. Got a flex out of that. So right in the middle of the fairway. So really good throw there by Daniel. So both Hudson and Daniel are down there. Again, Hudson's took a pretty big skip to the left, got him down to the bottom. So now he's scrambling to get out of here and get up by the basket to hopefully either get a birdie or par. So par here would not be bad where he's at. So we'll see what he's able to do. Good little forehand there, a little low. Got a great skip up there and gets it right by the basket, right under the pin. So that's a really good scramble there by Hudson. So really good throw. Daniel here, just nice little flick right up to the basket. I think he's going with either his soft zone or his tank, but it looks like it's his zone if I'm not mistaken. This one's more of his understable zone now at this point because it's beat in so much. So got a little bit high, nose up, too much hyzer, but luckily he did not get too far from the basket where he's about 7 to 10 feet or so for birdie. So we'll see if Daniel's able to knock this down to give him back to +4, which he does. That's a great putt there. And then Hudson has a just drop in birdie, which again was a great scramble by Hudson there from being all the way on the left-hand side by the trees. So really good hole there for the kid. So 2 birdies, so that's always a good start. Or a good score on that hole. Moving on to hole 5, par 3, 324 feet. So this one was a bit of a change from, I think, Monkey Island from last year. I think they played it to the pin position on the left, so now we're going to the right. So for backhand, it's you swing it like Hudson did there, go straight at it, and either have it turn and then go back to the basket, or you push a little bit to the creek on the side and then hyzer it in, or if you have the forehand, you just swing it out left and have it crash down. Daniel got another good pull there. Little bit nose up, so he didn't get full distance, but it's still a good throw. Both Hudson and Daniel just have nice, easy pitch ups to walk away out of here with a par. So we'll see what the kids are able to do. I think that's Hudson's Aviator again, but I'm not 100% sure, or if it's his Toro. But really good approach there by Hudson. So Daniel again. We went up to this hole. I told him I thought it would be a just nice easy flick with his tank just right under the basket. He felt comfortable with his jump putt. It was a good bid at what it got there, but he brought the tree on his right into play. So now he leaves himself with about a 20-25 footer for par. Just a little bit right, a little bit low, so it didn't have a chance. So now he's tapping in for a bogey there. Hudson here for his 3. Going through his routine once again. That's always key when you're putting. You don't want to rush your putts. You want to take your time, go through your routine, and pick a link and hit it there. Really good putt. Did the loop-de-loop around the basket, so it didn't stick for him. Got more of the basket than the chain there. So unfortunately for Hudson, that'll be a tap and bogey. This is Daniel's putt for his bogey as well. So we'll see if he's able to knock this down and walk away with just a bogey, nothing more. Good putt there, a little high, but stuck, so no more harm than what it already was. So walking away there with a bogey, and then Hudson's just going to drop in his bogey here. So through hole 5, Daniel's at +5, Hudson's at -1. Hudson playing really good golf so far. Daniel's just had a few approaches where if we would have maybe thought about it a little bit more, probably would have saved his par. Could potentially be at +3 because again, hole 1 or hole 18A was the one that got Daniel this time around. So moving on to hole 6, we're looking at 351 feet, par 3. So just really go right down the middle, swing it out to the right, forehand, kind of push that tree line to your left and have it hyzer back into the basket. Not sure what Hudson went with there, but he got a really good pull. He got pretty far up there where he was looking at the basket, I would say 60 to 80 feet potentially. I can't remember, but I think that's what it's going to look like on video. Daniel here is going with his nuke once again. Nose up, a little high. So didn't get the full flight. Out in the middle of fairway, which nothing bad. So he's going to go ahead and approach here, swinging out to the left of those trees to get around them and bring it back into the basket, going with his more stable zone. Really good throw there. Good tree. Gets him right by the basket, if I'm not mistaken. I think the tree's right behind that tree that he hit. Yep. Yeah, Hudson's about 60 feet or so. Maybe even 40 feet, I think. I think he was talking to his dad, Ty, there to see. I think he was trying to get the distance potentially. So I think he's going to go jump putt, or is he at his standstill putt? I can't remember. Short jump putt. Yeah, just right up there. So he's playing to get his par. So tapping in for par there for Hudson keeps him at -1. Daniel here with his tap in par will keep him at +5. So moving on to hole 7, the iconic hole, the island hole here at Peter Pan. Hole 6A, par 3, I apologize, I'm getting ahead of myself. This one's still an island hole, hole 6A, 253 feet, par 3. This one's a really cool throw too. So you have to get on the island, be safe. If you miss it, then you're playing from the drop zone, which is in front of those steps. So Hudson's lining his shot up. I want to say it's a mid-range. You'll see him a little bobbing and weaving there. There was a group on hole 6, and they were throwing. Some of their throws got a little bit to the left here by the tee pad. Can't remember, but I want to say that's one of his mid-ranges. I just can't remember if it's Toro or which one it is, but really good throw for Hudson there, right over the basket, just left, so he's looking at a birdie. Daniel here going again with his zone. Just going to go a little flex out to the left. Or not his zone, I apologize, his nuke. So really good throw, and it just curls up right under the basket for Daniel. So great throw there. So Hudson's about 15-ish feet or so for his birdie. So we'll see if he's able to knock this down, take him to -2 for the round so far. Going through his motion. Lining it up, and right there. Counts right if it goes in. So little low, but it stuck. So birdie's a birdie. So really good putt there for Hudson. Daniel there probably had a foot fault. Wasn't right by his mini. I don't think he was there. So he just has to remember that. So moving forward. Now we're going to, I think, what the iconic hole here at Peter Pan is. Hole 7, the island hole, with the monkey building right behind it. So for the kids, it's 185 feet, par 3. So I think most of them are either throwing a mid-range or a putter. Hudson, I think, is throwing his throw putter, I think, his ABR putter. So really straight, right to the right of it. So I think he was about 20, 25 feet for that look at birdie there. Daniel, I think, is choosing to throw his, if I can see it on camera, where's the stamp on that disc? It's either his zone or his tank, but it's looking like that was probably his zone. Went right at it. That was a really good throw, so that would have been a sweet ace if he was able to hit it. I think if it would have got a little bit more ante on there, he probably could have potentially rang it up, but it's still a great throw by Daniel, and Hudson also had a great throw. So Hudson here lining up his birdie putt. I think that's about 15-ish feet, I think, from just looking at the video. I don't think it's a 20-footer. So knock it down here. Oh, yeah. Great putt there by Hudson. So that takes him to -3 so far for the round. And then Daniel here is left for about 10 feet-ish, I think. Yeah, it was his zone. So he did throw his soft zone. So got him within about 10 feet. Great putt there for Daniel as well. So that takes Daniel to +3 through hole 7. So great hole once again for Hudson and Daniel there. Moving on to hole 8, 298-foot par 3. This one, dealer's choice. You can go right down the middle. You can go down this right-hand side and hyzer it back to the basket. You could go forehand left side and hyzer it back into the basket. I think Hudson might have been going this back door route, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he went straight to it. I think he was going back door route. And am I right or am I wrong? No, so he was going right, kind of right to the right side, middle. Great throw. He brought in that tree pretty close, but he great speed, great throw. Got it to skip up there. A little low, but it still got up there. Daniel going the forehand to the left here. Brought those trees in. you can't really you really can't see it on video, but that bee tree right in front of us and the tree to the right of it, he went right between those. Wasn't intentional. We were joking around that he created a mando on the hole, but he got lucky he didn't hit one of those trees, because he was going to go all the way to the left, potentially out of bounds, maybe in the pond, in the lake, whatever you want to call it. But he got a great throw. He was looking at a birdie putt within about 25 feet, I want to say. Hudson's maybe about 20-ish feet. So we'll see if he's able to give this a good bid and get it in for birdie, or get it close enough where he's just a tap-in par. So we'll see. I think Hudson's running this, though, if I'm not mistaken. He's at it. This is, to me, I think, comfortable distance for him. I think he's pretty good from anywhere between 15, 20 feet. Anything inside of that's pretty automatic for him. So really good bid. Really good bid. Just got the front end of the basket there. So didn't roll too far past, so he's going to be able to walk away hopefully here with a par. Daniel ran his as well. Looking at his par, really good putt there. So through hole 8, Daniel stays at +3. And Hudson's left with about a 5-footer for his tap-in par. So we'll see if he's able to knock this one down and remain at -3 for the round. And there we go. Good putt there by Hudson. So Bo keeps them both at a par for the hole. And same scores, +3 and for Daniel, and -3 for Hudson. So hole 9 is a par 3, 232 foot. Dealer's choice, but this one's more set up again for backhand. You do want to go just straight and then have it hyzer to the left for backhand. So that's what Hudson's doing. You'll see here Daniel's route, because again, he's primarily all forehand. We have been working on his backhand, but you know, his more comfortable throw is the backhand. So that, I think, was Hudson's Toro there. Really great throw, gets him right in the middle of the fairway. Really looking to give it a soft bid from there, because there is water behind the basket. Daniel and I actually practiced this hole quite a bit. We went up the day before, and we practiced holes, what would it have been? Holes 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We practiced those on a loop for about an hour, hour and a half. He was throwing his forehand really good on these holes. He was getting it to go straight and then fade to the left, and then hyzer back out to the right. Unfortunately there, he did get a good throw off the tee. He just went too straight, hit the tree on his approach. He didn't get enough height and ante on his approach, where it just hyzered out and went out of bounds. So unfortunately for Daniel, he is going to go, and looking already at a bogey here. Hudson's giving it a soft bid, because again, there is that water behind there. So he's going to just give it a nice bid. Almost got it, but it stayed. So no harm, no foul right there. So this is Daniel's, what would that be? His 4th throw, I think, at this point, because his 2nd went OB. So if this is his 3rd plus the stroke, this is 4. And he's really just playing to get it up there. He really wasn't going for it. He was just playing to get it as close to the basket as he could, so he didn't bring any more trouble into play. So we'll finish out this hole here. Hudson's looking at his par. There it is. That's his par there. Keeps him at -3 through hole 9. And then Daniel, I think this is his double bogey, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, double bogey. Takes him back up to +5. So unfortunately for Daniel, that hole has been his nemesis hole. Last year's Monkey Island, I think he took either a bogey or a double bogey. At World's first round at Peter Pan, I think he took a double or a bogey. Even his last round at Peter Pan, I want to say he took a bogey. So that been one of his holes that has been his nemesis hole. So, I mean, no harm, no foul to me, in my opinion. I think we practiced it enough where he was comfortable with it. It's just he got unlucky with the throw off the tee. I think if it would have been more in the middle, he would have been fine. I think Hudson was throwing his AVR putter right there. Really great throw, right down the middle, really straight. So he's just playing to get hopefully a birdie. And if not, just a tap in par. Daniel's going with the Cicada. Unfortunately, he threw it way too far, and it held the anhyzer, so he did go OB, so he's dropping here. So this is for his par, which is not a bad look for par. I think he was about 15 to 17 feet. Gives it a good bid, just too much to the left. think if it would have been a little farther right, he gets it to stick, so that would have been a great par save for Daniel after going OB from the tee. Hudson here, I think, is about 12 to 15 feet, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm bad with distances. I don't always carry my rangefinder, so I don't always know the distances exactly. But Hudson here is looking for his another birdie here. Really good bid. Really good bid. So Hudson takes a birdie there. Takes him to -4 through hole 10. Daniel there is going to be tapping in for his bogey. So that will take him to +6 through hole 10. So putting a little hard. I know Daniel gets a little bit upset, frustrated with how things go sometimes, and even on his putts, he takes it out on the putt where he putts it really hard and really fast that sometimes he hits those chains and it spits back out to him. That's happened here in Garden City when we go out and practice. So that's something that I know I talked to him a little bit about. Just, you're taking a bogey, let it go. Just putt it like normal. Don't put it too hard out of frustration, then you turn that bogey into a double bogey. I personally have done that myself. So moving on to hole 11, 298-foot par 3. So you have the water that comes into play here. So you really want to play in a drop zone area, so you play it safe. Hudson there, I think that was his putter, threw it in between a group of trees. It's not a bad spot. You want to be more to the left because the basket plays on the peninsula. So you want to be at a spot, you want to be in an opening where you can just pitch it up to the basket and take a par. A par here is like taking a birdie. So you don't want to be taking a bogey on this hole. This is one of those holes that gets a lot of players. So Daniel got a great spot. He threw a zone off the tee, got into a great position. Unfortunately, he threw his, I think that was his throwing Omega, his soft one. He threw the soft one because he was wanting it to stick. He just didn't feel comfortable. And that goes back to, it's not his fault. It's just prior to this, we haven't been playing as much. I know that's something Ty and I were talking about throughout the round on how many tournaments Daniel was going to be playing, this year. And unfortunately, because of his other sporting events and things that he wants to do, disc golf, unfortunately, for this year is something that we haven't been doing as much. We've been going out casually and playing here and there. Great bid by Hudson. He got really close to going OB, but luckily he was safe by, I think, half a disc or the full disc. So that was a great bid and staying safe for Hudson. Daniel here, this is his lie after marking it from OB, so he's putting for bogey there. So it's still a great putt, great bogey save, because that easily could have turned into a double bogey, and if you hit that basket wrong, you could potentially roll and go OB. Hudson's taking his meter there because he's right on the OB line, but he was safe. That was not out of bounds, so he is just marking and getting his meter from the line. But as I was saying, Ty and I have been talking, and we're throughout the round and even before the round regarding Daniel and how much disc golf he was going to do, and if we were planning on going to Junior Worlds this year in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, as I was telling Ty, but as the kids were warming up in the morning, that Monkey Island, our tournament in Garden City, maybe one or two other ones would probably be the most that Daniel would play. Just because of football. Football hasn't officially started, but Daniel and I will go out and condition one or two, maybe even 3 times during the week at one of the middle schools here. We'll go run on the track, we'll do some field work, we'll even do some stairs, just to get Daniel comfortable and into shape as far as just running and being able to run distances. I know it's nothing compared to wearing pads, but at least if he's in somewhat decent shape, won't be as tired when he puts those pads on and starts working with the team. So, but I mean, that's, something that I am bummed about. I wish we could have got him there. I know we could have made it work, but I do want him to experience all the other sports. He loves playing all the other sports. He loves baseball. He loves football. He doesn't play soccer anymore, but he really enjoyed playing soccer. He really enjoys playing basketball, but we're just letting him kind of pick and choose what he wants to do as he gets older. If there's a sport that he wants to stick to, then that's what we'll focus on. But I really want him to experience all of those things as a kid at this point. So we're on hole 12 here. We're at par 3, 327 feet. Hudson had a great throw off the tee. I want to say that might be a score that he's been throwing, that orange one. right in the middle. He's approaching now just to get right up under the basket. Really good approach. I think he was approaching with his Toro, maybe the Aviator. I can't remember. Daniel, unfortunately, off the tee, hit a tree. Just got a little too high. I think he would have really got a really good distance on it, I should say. So that was his par putt. Now he's putting for his bogey from here. A little upset. I know he was upset. You guys could see it on camera when he threw it off the tee. As soon as it hit the tree, he slapped his hands together, so he wasn't happy with that. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to go over the left flex it and then have it come back right. I think, again, he would have got a great throw from that if it didn't hit the tree, but, I mean, that happens. So Daniel there walks away with a bogey. Hudson takes the par. So through holes 12, we're at Daniel +8, Hudson -4. So Hudson's having a really good round. I know this is one of Hudson's courses during Junior Worlds last year where he was just scorching on this course. So he was having really good rounds here. So I think it's one of his favorite courses, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So hole 13 is 258, par 3. So Hudson's just playing it. Heiser out wide. He gets a pretty big skip, hits the pine tree. I think it didn't go too far in. I think he was right on the edge. Daniel again moving to his Z-Lite nuke. Little high, brings in the trees, but again, not a bad spot. He's still looking at a birdie look from about 35, 40 feet here. So we'll see if Daniel's able to knock this down or at least stay close enough where he takes apart. Really good bid. Good distance. Good speed on the disc, just a little high. I think a little lower probably would have stuck and took a birdie, which would have been a great birdie. Hudson, I think, here's from about 15-ish feet, I think. So he does have the branches that are kind of playing with him here. He's not sure if he should straddle it or just go normal stance on his putt, but I think he chose to go with his normal stance. So we'll see if he's able to knock this down here and move to -5 through holes 13. Yep, and he does. Almost spits out, almost bounces out of the basket, so he's able to get that to stick, and he stays there, and he takes the birdie. So that's a really good birdie there on that hole, especially from the tee taking that big skip over to the left. That was another one that, unfortunately for Daniel, tap in par, great putt, didn't throw it hard. Just the way the disc hit the chains, it spit right back out for some reason. It wasn't too windy in that spot. Don't know what happened, but it happened. I mean, that happens to everybody. Happens to the pros, too. I know I was watching something from the Pro Tour this morning. I think is it the Opie Open? Isaac Robinson had a putt from outside the circle. Hit dead center, went through the middle, I think went around the pole and spit back out. So, I mean, it happens to everybody. I mean, it's nothing you can do about it. Hudson's going with a forehand here, playing it out to the left and swinging out right. There's nothing wrong with that throw. I mean, taking a par here is not a bad thing if you can get a birdie here for some of these kids here, because of the way the layout is for this hole is almost like a bonus birdie for them. So Daniel here is going to go Z-Lite nuke once again. A little bit high. Luckily for him, there was no trees that were coming into play on the left side, so he got a really great throw there. I want to say he was pretty close to the basket. Hudson here is probably going to give it another soft bit again, but ultimately he's just trying to get it as close enough to the basket where he can just walk away with a par. And that's exactly what he's doing. So, that's smart golf. You don't want to turn an easy par into potentially a bogey, right? So really smart by Hudson there. So he's going to walk away with a par. Daniel's looking at his birdie, knocks that one down. So that's a great recovery, especially after that last hole taking a bogey. Unfortunate bogey, but gets his score back down to +8. Hudson will stay at plus at -5. So we're moving on to hole 15, 488-foot par 4. I think this was one of the changes on this hole from Monkey Island last year. I think they played from the short position. I don't remember them playing from this position last year. But, I mean, it's still a good hole for them. I mean, tests their skills. It tests, how they're throwing. So unlucky for Daniel there. He got a little too high, brought that tree into play. I was trying to get him to look more to his left and just swing it out on that last row of trees. So he didn't bring anything into play that didn't need to be brought into play. So now he's just going to scramble and try to get up to the basket, hopefully for par. Hudson here is going backhand. I think he's going turnover. Yes, kind of baby turnover. Go right in the middle of the fairway, so he's just going to, if you can forehand it from there, follow the line of the trees to curve back to the right, then you're in a great spot. So Daniel's going to play the same throw, same disc, just swing it out left, bring it back to the right. Got a great throw. Almost brought another tree into play, but he's up there, so now he's looking at about a 200, 250-foot approach into the basket to take a par here. Hudson here, it's almost like a turnover for him. I can't remember if he was going right side of these trees and hyzering it back in. I think that's what he's lining up, but I can't tell from this angle of the camera. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, he was just going to follow the tree line on the anhyzer. It looked good. I think he just wanted to go a little bit more left and then just have it just naturally turn over for him. So he kissed one of those trees, kicked him out left, so now he's going to be scrambling for his par. Daniel here clipped a tree. I don't remember if that was his zone, the soft zone. So I think that still left him with a bit of a putt, though, because he's looking already at putting for par from there. Because this is Hudson's third, so he's just trying to get as close enough to the basket to play for his par as well. So we'll see if he's able to get this up there. I can't remember again what this disc is. A little low to the left. I want to say the kids called him out of bounds, I think. I honestly can't remember. I know they all went over and they were looking at the disc and they were all trying to make a decision on whether he was safe or out of bounds. But we'll see once the score updates. I just can't remember. I think he may have gone out of bounds on that hole. I just honestly, memory's not serving me correctly, so I can't remember. A little low, kissed the basket. So we'll see what his score is once he taps that in. So Daniel here, this is his par putt. So hopefully he's able to knock this one down and walk away with just a par, nothing more. Good bid, just wide right, just went wide right, didn't bring it in the chain. So now he's got a more difficult putt for bogey, but goes right through the tree, hits a little bit of a branch, but it still sticks and takes the bogey there. And then Hudson, okay, so it was for a bogey, so he was out of bounds. So that takes Hudson to -4. Daniel, I think, went back up to +10 or 9. But we'll see the score here in a second. But we're on to hole 16, 312 feet, par 3. No, Daniel +9. So this one is just swing it out. It's a pretty open hole. Just get as far as you can, as close enough to the basket, and, just if you can get a birdie, great. If you can get a par, even better. Or I should go backwards, right? If you can get a birdie, even better, but if you take a par, that's good too. Daniel, unfortunately, just threw it too low. Luckily for him, he was able to get some ground play, get some skip to push him forward, so that wasn't bad. If he would have been a little bit farther back, it potentially could have made the hole a bit more difficult for him because of being too far to the right there. Hudson here playing and turnover backhand, really great throw. He really got some good distance on that. I can't remember what that disc was, but really good throw. So now Daniel's just approaching, just trying to get as close enough to that basket with his zone. Really great throw behind it, but I think about 5 to 6 feet to the basket. I missed Hudson's approach on there, but he approached, I think, with his aviator. He's about 5 feet from the basket. That's Daniel's tap-in par. This is Hudson's tap-in par. My phone throughout this round it was starting to warm up here towards the end of this round, so my phone was starting to overheat towards the end of this round. And unfortunately, the plan was to get both rounds filmed for both Daniel and Hudson, but as my phone was overheating, it wasn't charging correctly anymore, so I was not able to record round 2, and I was really looking forward to recording both rounds for both of them. But unfortunately, I was not able to do that. I didn't want my phone to completely just break down. So moving on to hole 17, we're looking at 309 feet, par 3. Daniel going with the nuke. A little high. It didn't really hold the ante. I think if he would have got that nose down straight down the middle, it would have held it a little bit longer. But he got out there. He's all the way up there where he's just approaching for a par. Hudson here is going to go right down the middle and try to skip it up to the basket on the left-hand side. So we'll see what he's able to do here. Oh, yeah. That's butter right there. Right down the middle, playing it up to the basket. Really great throw by Hudson. Got a good skip up over, but I think it took him under one of the pine tree branches. And Daniel here again, not a bad spot. You're just approaching here for your par. He unfortunately just early released it right into the tree. So now he's looking at a par from about 25-30 feet maybe. So we'll see if he's able to knock this down and walk away with just a par here on the second to last hole of their round. Just hyzered right in front of the basket, but good bid. Just now he's got a tricky putt for his bogey. Yeah, so Hudson did skip over under one of the branches, but he's still looking at a birdie from here. So we'll see if he's able to knock this down. I know Hudson's pretty confident and comfortable putter on the green, so we'll see if he's able to knock this one down and get another birdie here. Going through the straddle. Oh, yeah. Almost spits out to the backside, but it stuck. So he's able to get a birdie there. Takes him to -5. Daniel here is marking his lie because Daniel now is playing for bogey. So he's going to have to kind of stretch out on a knee and hopefully hit this one to just keep him at +10. So we'll see what he's able to do. So this is kind of an uncomfortable position. Daniel doesn't practice these putts very much, so we'll see if he's able to knock this down. Good bid, just a little high. Hit the basket. I think a little lower, probably sticks again, so now he's going to tap in for a double bogey. Takes him to +11 through hole 17, which takes us to our final hole, hole 18, 268-foot par 3. OB left, OB right, so you really just want to go right down the middle up to the basket. You backhand just a little bit right and hyzer back in. Forehand, you can bring the OB into play, but just swing it out hard enough and then bring it back into the basket. So Hudson there, really great throw. I think it might be a score, but he got some good ground play. I think he skips up about 30 feet-ish from the basket. Daniel going with his nuke, going to play the swing out to the left. Little high, little nose up, so he didn't get the full flight from that and wanted to hyzer out pretty quickly. But he still gave himself a decent look at a birdie, I want to say within about 30 feet, 25 feet. It was a good bid, just a little bit high, a little bit lower. He didn't putt with his normal putter. He did end up going with his soft tank, I think. He was playing it more for the ground play. He didn't want to hit something or have something stand up. Even if he would have hit it and it stood up, the tank would have rolled anywhere, but he was just playing for more ground play for it just to stick. Hudson's lining up his birdie attempt here from about 20-ish feet or so, so we'll see if he's able to finish his round with the birdie. Good attempt and good bid. Almost goes through again, but it's stuck. So Hudson finishes round 1 with a -6. Daniel here's looking to finish out his first round of Monkey Island with a par. Unfortunately, just a little bit to the right. Spits out. He's a bit upset here at this point, so now he knows he's tapping in for his bogey. And that'll take Daniel to I keep saying minus, I apologize, to +12 at the end of round 1. So I do want to thank everybody that's been still following the channel. I know there hasn't been a whole lot of content on the channel. And that, again, that goes back to Daniel wanting to do other sports and more team sports. He sees a lot of his friends playing other sports, and, you know, that's what he wants to do. But I do want to thank you guys. I do want to thank Hudson for wanting to be on coverage. I thought that was cool. I want to give one last good luck to all those competing at Junior Worlds this year. Hudson, you know, go out there and kill it, 7. Hopefully you guys go out there and kill it as well. So everybody, you know, enjoy that. We wish we were there with you guys, but we wish you guys nothing but the best of luck out there. As we move into the future of our channel, we might go through a little bit of a rebranding. And instead of it being Beatrice Disc Golf and mainly a disc golf channel, it may end up being the Beatrice Sports Network, where it's going to showcase sports for all of the kids, from football to basketball to baseball, any of the sports that kids play. I've been looking into purchasing a better camera to do all of that, and there's still going to be some disc golf on the channel. It's not going away permanently. It's just going to be more of a showcase of all the other sporting things that the kids do. But to end on a positive note, disc golf related, there is going to be one more video that will be dropping. I was fortunate enough to run our first ever PDGA tournament at the Crater Disc Golf Course in Garden City. So for those that have never played the course in Garden City, the new course, I recommend that you come out. It offers you a variety of shots that the college didn't. And you guys will be able to see that on coverage. So I was lucky enough to be able to be the TD. I didn't participate in the event as a player this year, but I was able to caddy for Daniel and record both of his rounds. So you guys will be able to see what that course is all about, and I hope you guys enjoy that video too. But until then, see ya and stay tuned.